experiences there and now parallels to what he sees in the West, promoting torture, secret arrest, military, drones to be used against the American people. Gunter, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, well, we had a great talk on the radio, but this is commercial-free now. It was a solid interview. You made a lot of great points, and we were getting, water and coffee and stuff that you didn't make on the radio about Alex. We started bad in East Germany with no rights and then developed some and stood down. You're going the opposite direction. You have all these great rights where the people are the power. But I mean,
yes.
In your own words, break down where we left off on the radio with the parallels here in the West.
I'm born in 1952. In the beginning of East Germany, actually a German Democratic Republic, let's say East Germany is shorter. Beginning of East Germany, the party was in total power. The law was there in place, constitution in place, but the party ignored everything. So when you criticized the party or the government, which was the same, you were locked up, you disappeared, just no right at all. And later, you had more and more right, because we had the other side of the border was West Germany. And East Germany was not accepted from the beginning as a country. So they had to have good documents and have to look nice, let's say this. Yeah.
So for public relations reasons,
yes, for public relations,
kind of like the UN claims all these rights, but then takes them away in Article 30.
But the party had to change piece by piece. The people got more right. The Stasi, which was the Secret Service, was no more was still in power, powerful enough, but they had at least to do like following the rules and the law.
Pay lip service.
Yes, when they would arrest you, they had to find a reason, which was easy. Yeah? But at the beginning, they did not even have to have a reason or show you a reason or tell you one. When I see here the development, the US started with a constitution, the best ever written in history, in human history. And when you see what's going on, Patriot Act is, you lose more and more right. And many of the law and the bills they passed are against the Constitution. Patriot Act is absolutely against the Constitution. And the Patriot Act is the same as we had when the party was in absolute power, because they just lock you up if you want. And they don't tell you a reason.
You're saying our Patriot Act is how East Germany started when it was even more draconian, and then people over time demanded more liberties, and it was that 40-year process until it finally fell.
Yes.
And I've studied history. I didn't live in East Germany, but I've looked at other nations. Only North Korea on the books has stuff like what we have on the books. Hitler, Stalin, Mao, and others. They wouldn't put the things we put on the books now. Our government puts things like the NDAA passed last week, where they say citizens can disappear, never be seen again, military can be used against you. And they went to the senators who authored it and said, does it really say this? And they all said, yes, it does. So even the media couldn't believe it. And then it passed 93-7 in the Senate. And then it turned out Obama had demanded that actually be in there. So, I mean, just to recap what you said on the radio, but I want you to repeat it in your own words. The United States, at least on paper, has less rights and freedoms now and is going in the opposite direction of how we started, and is actually starting to dwarf East Germany.
Yes, it's exactly what I see here. I mean, I watch the politics. I have to watch it because I'm here 13 years. It was completely new for me. I read the Constitution. When you see Patriot Act in Constitution, no, they cannot lock you away. You have the right for trial. You have the right to see evidence against you. And this is no more necessary.
And you teach Constitution classes now?
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. So continuing the parallels, though, from what East Germany was like and now what you see happening here.
East Germany, as I said, completely power of the party, but it changed over the time. The constitution from East Germany was actually a good written document, clear, but all constitutions, are even East Germany, was designed or written to tell the government and define how the government can rule the people. The Constitution of the United States is completely different. The Constitution starts with we the people. It is written for the people, and it regulates the right of the government. It narrows them so the government has no much right. The states have a lot of right, Bill of Rights, government not. But the government grabs all the rights, even from the states and from the people.
So again, what you're saying is key here. In fact, I can show people a drawing real quick with a document cam of this. We were just showing your military ID and passport and things there. In a draconian system, the Constitution can say whatever it wants, but the government has all the rights at the top, and it's all about the government's power over the population who's down here. You got the little ones here, I guess. But instead, in our republic, it's all about the people on top, and the government and the system is under them. And so the Constitution bounds down the government, not the other way around, basically.
The government has to serve the people by our Constitution here. In East Germany, it was a different way.
Well, exactly. Exactly, because you can have all these great things you say, but if the government still is in control, can do whatever it wants, it can just violate it.
They run your life. They tell you what you have to do exactly, no way around. There was a time in East Germany when you would move from one city to another, you need authorization and permission to do so. No more at the end, at the beginning. Total control. But it changed piece by piece. And at the end, the people were able to go in the street and have a rally against the party, against the government.
We're going to talk about the fall of the communist system in East Germany, but we covered that first on the radio, so I want to get into the parallels first that we covered last. But I mean, again, continuing a drawing here, just a primitive drawing. Here is authoritarianism on this side, and then you've got on this side the Constitution, Bill of Rights, the flower of the Renaissance, the awakening, all the liberties we met. What Homeland Security is pushing is diametrically opposed to what the Republic was set up on. So you've got tyranny here, and you've got the Republic here, two completely separate things. This state's Declaration of Independence, it's not just a right, it's a duty to overthrow this, and that governments are constituted amongst men, and that it comes from the people, and this is saying the state can do whatever it wants. I mean, it's really simple when you actually look at it.
It is, and it happens on a daily basis.
Again, I can ask a lot of questions here, Gunter, but I want you to get into other parallels, points, warnings, because you're obviously here and speaking out because you want to warn Americans because you've experienced authoritarianism.
For example, I heard America, land of the free. Oh, sounds good. But when police sees me with this shirt, which actually means I'm an oath keeper, an oath keeper means we took an oath to defend the Constitution, American people. And when you stand to this, they are afraid. One police officer told me, as I asked him if there's a problem with it, he came back and said, I don't want to become a target. He is afraid to become a target when he speaks out for the Constitution. Friends of mine say, oh, you are oath keeper, you should step back. You will lose all your freedom. There is no freedom to lose when this is the case. Already lost,
Exactly. You don't get your freedom by groveling to tyrants. You only have your freedom by demanding it.
And when you see Patriot Act, I guess Thomas Jefferson said, when you exchange security for liberty, you will have none of them.
History shows that. Continuing, what got you politically aware and concerned to start speaking out?
When you say, let's say, Constitution, you become a terrorist. I mean, when you are a soldier and come back, a returning veteran, Napolitano, Department of Homeland Security, said they are potential terrorists. Our soldiers who are coming back are potential terrorists. This cannot be.
They're guilty until proven innocent.
No question. This cannot be. So you lose all your rights. You can be arrested for any reason. You may be on a lot of lists. They can be used maybe later against you. Why? There has not to be a list. As long as you are not convicted for any crime or anything else, there is no reason. Absolutely.
And again, you're an oath keeper because you moved here as a software engineer, and you told me privately you like Dallas, you like Texas, you like America, and you've already been an oath keeper. You were there as a lieutenant colonel.
Yes.
I should tell the viewers, in the main city where the stand down began and where the Berlin Wall fell.
Yeah. When the rally started in Leipzig, I knew about, I was still in the army, but I was there Monday, listen, look what what's going on. Later, I joined them. Not in uniform, of course not, yeah. But in civil, I joined them, and many of our officers joined them too. I mean, I saw them on the street, yeah, Mondays. So there are, but our regulation, the army says clearly, we did not have to obey any order against their constitution, against our people, and against common international law. It was written in the regulation of service. So it was pretty clear, yeah.
And again, you pointed out to me on the radio, but then more privately, when it began, they just did whatever they wanted. Slowly, people quietly demanded more rights until the point they created a constitution and things, but still tried to ignore it. But you guys said, no, we're not supposed to fire on our own citizens for no reason. We're not going to do this. And you told me previously, it's famous, they would machine gun people trying to get out of East Germany.
Yes, absolutely. The border was closed since 1961, 13th of August. And at the beginning, a lot of people who tried to leave died, were killed at the border. Later, no one tried it anymore. They found different ways over embassy and other countries to go out. And this became a big problem for East Germany. So, and then in 1989, in early spring, they started the rallies beginning after the church. Just a few people, but every Monday. It became more and more. And the party has not the power to go against them. They tried it. They put the paramilitary troops with AK-47s, without ammunition, on the street, just to make a point, you know, a statement. And later they tried to use the army. They trained the paratroops and brought them to Leipzig. But finally, the last rally was on the 7th or 9th of November, 89. There were 150,000 people on the street. And it was peaceful, absolutely peaceful, no window broken, nothing. Yeah?
In fact, here's some photos. There are the little crosses where people were killed, where the Berlin Wall was. We'll put it back up.
Oh, yes. This is the side from West Berlin.
Does that bring back any memories?
Yes, I have seen it there. I've been in the wall later.
Before we look at more parallels, we didn't really flesh out, you know, I had always read about the Stasi once the wall fell, scattering like roaches, the authoritarians, the control freaks. But you said that they already started disappearing before.
Yes, they started before. That was one problem I had later, because I left the army, I actually in July, but I had to stay until end of November. It's like the fiscal year. So, but documents were written. I was out of the army, still officer, but not just parts in service. So, and Stasi they began, so far I know, in the spring, and moved their people out from the Stasi over to the army. So they became army officer, and no more Stasi. They moved them out in positions in the economy, in key positions, away from the Stasi. So the idea was, we are still there in power, even when the regime changed.
It's like a sleeper network.
Yes, like this.
Stay behind network.
They called them officer with a special service. And this was the same time I got my documents, and I had to show I am not one from them. I left the army because normally I could not leave the army. I had to stay 25 years in the army.
But just to be clear, were the Stasi all routed out? I mean, I know a lot of them came over and run Homeland Security now, and that's not a joke, folks. That actually happened. But, I mean, were they routed out?
Yes, they were in completely different directions. Some in the army, some there. And the Stasi exists until the end, yeah, officially. Just he moved a lot of people out, so save them and keep them in position for later.
Sure. We showed a photo earlier of a man machine gun trying to climb over the wall, not into another country, but into his own country, West Germany. I mean, that'd be like putting a wall up the Mississippi, blocking the east from the west and the west from the east.